takes to finish our quest. Redneck Archaeology. Redneck Archaeology. Working day and night, they started just for kicks. Now we're redneck archaeologists.
What are you looking at, Pat?
Oh, I'm just looking at this replica of one of the twin sister cannons down here in San Jacinto that were used in the Battle of San Jacinto. They were the only artillery that the Texans had at the time, and they wound up without much ammunition, so they had to gather up musket balls and whatever else they could find to do it.
I heard they used chain, rocks, about anything they could put in that thing.
If they could fit it in the barrel, they shot it.
And so when they wheeled these things up or whatever, they basically took them up against the Mexican barricade.
Well, the infantry.
The infantry, the barricade,
Yeah.
and all that. They said they had a 5-foot barricade built.
It was a berm.
Berm, whatever. And, well, they had all kinds of packs and stuff, too, set up on top of it. And if these things supposedly scared the Mexicans off, busted it down and went with it.
You got them to running in the opposite direction. Now, about these replicas, since nobody knows exactly, or currently knows exactly what the twin sisters actually looked at, it was said that they were 6-pound cannons.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
This would shoot considerably more than a 6-pound.
Right.
So I'm thinking that...
Well, I've actually heard stories that went all the way from 2-pounders to the 6-pounders.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
could be anywhere in that range. Those
nobody
are good
really
for
knows.
Yeah, for little pack howitzers like that.
They didn't keep any kind of record on these things or anything, evidently.
The cannons themselves were, these were cast kind of poorly. You can see the cast marks
Right.
down the side. Trunnions have been welded on. So these are more or less modern or reproductions of a story in a...
What do you think the original were made out of?
I'm thinking they were probably cast iron.
Cast iron. Not bronze or not brass or not any of that other. I figured brass they'd bust out, right?
Well, they made a lot of brass cannons, but they put sleeves in them.
Got you. All right, got you. And so you think that these cannons, the original cannons, were made out of bronze or cast iron or?
Technology was really in flux back then.
Right.
And we had everything from matchlocks all the way up to a much more modern, particularly the naval cannon.
Well, they said that they could have been made out of brass. A lot of people say brass.
Bronze.
Then they said
iron.
bronze.
Mhm.
Then they said iron. And then we found out that the casting place where they built these things in Cincinnati was they only did cast iron foundations or whatever, cast iron.
Yeah.
So we're beginning to wonder if they weren't just cast iron to begin with.
This is cast iron, you can tell, but
Yeah.
because it was not meant to be a true weapon, one wouldn't want to shoot this. You look back here, it doesn't really have a classical cannon look to it.
Yeah.
It has a raising more like a parrot rifle or a more modern than 1830s
All right.
ones.
Naval cannons.
Right. Naval cannons were probably at the top of the technological pile. I would venture to guess that they were probably cast iron cannons.
Right.
Either that or they were cast iron sleeved cannons. And
So we had bronze cannons, though. I mean, they'd bust out or whatever,
yeah,
right?
you can put a lot more bore pressure into a cast iron.
To a cast iron.
Yeah, these cast iron cannons, they had you could put more pressure in them. They would hold more pressure, and that would throw the cannonball farther or whatever. These guys here.
So you think that the originals were cast iron, or do you think that they were bronze?
I'm thinking they were probably
Come in,
cast
Taylor.
iron.
Yeah. Okay. And then we were talking about something about bigger cannons that we could show.
Oh yeah. We can take a technology jump just by turning around and looking behind us.
All right, and so we can check some of those out right here in a few minutes, right?
Yeah, we sure can.
Going over to the battleship.
Right.
So we can look at some naval cannons over there.
Yeah.
Well, let's go do that.
The main battery gun on this ship is a 5-inch gun.